At 4 o'clock, ABC 10 News at 5 starts right now.
After months of high demand for hard-to-get vaccine appointments, the landscape could change. How vaccine hesitancy may be playing a role in San Diego County's fight against the coronavirus. Plus, local gyms are reopening indoors with fewer members. Why a recent move to the orange tier isn't translating to more people working out.
And one day after Derek Chauvin was convicted in the death of George Floyd, local activists are demanding police reform, the changes they want to see.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
Demand for the COVID-19 vaccine continues to outpace supply in San Diego County, but that could change. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Pena.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Eligibility expanded to people 16 and over just last week, and appointments filled up fast. As our ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Dela Cruz explains, demand could taper off as we see more vaccine hesitancy.
Since the vaccine first came out in December, supply has been limited and appointments have been hard to secure.
We have pretty much had 100% uptake of all our available appointments.
Suzanne Shea is a vaccine coordinator for Sharp. She says while they're fully booked for now, that will eventually change.
It will drop off. We will see a drop off. I think the time to worry about vaccination hesitancy is always.
Many people who want the shot have already gotten it or are making their appointments now. Shea says later on, we may see appointments go unclaimed since some people still won't want them. Some sites that have been booked solid for months are already showing more openings. Wednesday morning, CVS pharmacies had available appointments in San Diego and other California cities. Kaiser Permanente had plenty of openings at their Convoy location next week. There are 2.6 million people aged 16 and older in San Diego County, all of which are now eligible for the vaccine. The county's goal is to fully vaccinate at least 75% of those adults. So far, 64% have had one dose, 41% are fully vaccinated. Sharp is working to educate their members and encourage more people to get the shot.
There may be a time where their friends and family who say, well, you're not vaccinated, so you're not invited to the party. I think that'll start to hit home.
Health officials say the vaccine not only protects you, but helps us all get closer to putting COVID-19 in the past.
Unless we reach that herd immunity of 75% or 80% of the population either being immune or vaccinated, we're not going to be back to, what we consider normal life anytime soon.
Jennifer Dela Cruz, ABC 10 News.
And the county says it is still seeing high demand for appointments at local sites. It will continue fighting that vaccine hesitancy through outreach and education.
Now is the time as we're doing our recovery. Kids are going back to school, businesses are reopened. We want to continue to be a leader, to be safe, to be strong, to get people vaccinated, and to work ourselves out of this in a positive way.
That's County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher today talking about the progress being made against the pandemic. Today, California's case rate fell to the lowest in the continental United States. There are now about 40 new cases per 100,000 residents. That's 3 times better than the national average. In fact, 38 counties are now in the orange tier. 3 have now moved into the yellow tier. And here are the latest numbers for our county. 263 new cases were reported today. That brings our total to 275,631. And there were 7 new deaths, bringing that total to over 3,600.
The region's move into the orange tier isn't necessarily translating to more people going back to gyms. It's an issue we're exploring as part of our Rebound initiative. ABC 10 News reporter John Horn spoke to one gym owner with her doors and windows wide open.
Catcom is doing all she can to get people back inside Studio Sweat in Rancho Bernardo now that the county is in the orange tier.
25% gets us back to what we would consider a full class, and everybody still has these almost 8 to 10 foot workstations.
Com limits her sessions to 18 people, which, given the size of her studio, means she could fill her classes entirely under the current restrictions. But amid the pandemic, classes typically see attendance of 10 to 14 people.
And we're still struggling across the board in the fitness industry to get people back to their healthy place.
Com takes aim at the state easing capacity restrictions for retail and restaurants more so than gyms, saying it creates a chilling effect. County data shows potential exposure at gyms in 0.4% of COVID cases since last June. That percentage grows to 7.1% for bars and restaurants and 9.5% for retail. Plus, a new study from the British Journal of Sports Medicine says exercise was strongly associated with a reduced risk for severe COVID-19 outcomes.
I hope this study will change some minds and open up some thinking in our public health officials into what is important and what should we be trying to keep open and available.
I don't want to make anyone feel pressure to come back. I just want them to know that it is a good idea for them to come back on so many levels.
Com says she'll welcome everyone back, no judgment. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
The trade group of California Fitness Alliance is calling for 75% capacity at gyms in the Orange Tier. We did reach out to the State Health Department and are awaiting a response. And you can follow any developments surrounding the pandemic by downloading our free mobile app. Just go to the App Store and search 10 News.
Just one day after a police officer was convicted for murdering George Floyd, there will now be a new investigation. Today, Attorney General Merrick Garland announced a large-scale investigation into the practices of the Minneapolis Police Department. The Justice Department is already investigating whether the officers involved violated Floyd's civil rights. Today, Floyd's brother told Good Morning America what it was like watching Officer Derek Chauvin being taken away in handcuffs.
I watched him put his hands behind the back, and I was like, he had it a lot easier than my brother because my brother's hands were bent backwards, but it was accountability.
Chauvin will be sentenced 8 weeks from now. Local civil rights activists are now demanding government leaders to take on police reform. Our ABC 10 News reporter Rena Nakano, she spoke to the president of the San Diego Police Officers Association, who says the profession is always evolving.
Unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony. Find the defendant guilty.
In the aftermath of former Minnesota police officer Derek Chauvin's murder conviction of George Floyd, local civil rights activists are speaking out.
Get proactive and pass this resolution now.
Shane Harris of the People's Association of Justice Advocates is now demanding local leaders to pass a resolution of the Congressional George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. This would create an independent process to investigate police misconduct or excessive force, establish a federal registry of police misconduct complaints and disciplinary actions, grant funds to local agencies for anti-discrimination training programs, and prohibit no-knock warrants, chokeholds, carotid holds, among other things.
This federal law will challenge all local police departments to live up to their true standard, the one that we speak up on our cars, on our police cars every day, which is to protect and serve.
San Diego Police Officers Association President Jack Schaefer says in the Chauvin case, justice was served.
I trust our justice system. And it looks as though that, justice was served in this case.
In his more than 30-year career, Schaefer says he's seen many police reforms. Changes have already been implemented even locally since Floyd's death. In June, every law enforcement agency in the county banned the use of controversial carotid restraint. In November, San Diegans voted to have an independent body with subpoena powers to review police conduct. He anticipates more changes in the future.
Our job is constantly evolving. We're always trying to look for better ways to do things. Sometimes it takes tragic events to really highlight things to make sure that we're training officers the way they need to be trained and holding people accountable.
Rena Nakano, ABC 10 News.
In response, County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher sent ABC 10 News a statement that reads in part, the renewed interest at the federal level in the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act of 2021 is a positive step in the right direction. He says the Board of Supervisors plans to take a formal vote on May 4th. Closer to home, an investigation is now underway after an officer-involved shooting in Escondido left a man dead. This happened just after 7 o'clock this morning in the area of Broadway and 2nd. Police responded to a call of a man hitting cars with a metal pole. An officer made contact with the man while he was armed with a large metal object. And it was during this confrontation when police say an officer fired on the suspect. The man was taken to the hospital where he died, and police are now investigating the incident.
The owners of a Rancho Santa Fe Country Club have agreed to settle a 2018 sexual harassment and retaliation lawsuit. The Bay Club Company, operator of the Fairbanks Ranch Country Club, has agreed to pay $500,000 in the settlement. The suit, filed by the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, alleged that both management and customers subjected female employees to sexual harassment. Employees at all of the company's locations will undergo training on federal anti-discrimination laws with an emphasis on sexual harassment. Chula Vista police are joining forces with several law enforcement agencies in the disappearance of Maya Millete. Today, the Chula Vista Police Department announced it is partnering with the San Diego County District Attorney's Office, the FBI, and the Naval Criminal Investigative Service to find her. The mother of 3 has been missing for over 3 months. Police also say they are aware of recent reports of loud bangs caught on surveillance video near Millete's home on the night she's believed to have disappeared. They say the recording is being analyzed by investigators.
Turning now to our weather, we are getting an early taste of this May gray with the cool, cloudy and drizzly weather across San Diego County. Kind of nice today. Our meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking how long these conditions will last and when our next warm-up is on the way. Angelica.
I'm glad you like it. It's a little cloudy, a little gloomy, and we still have a few spotty showers developing across the area. You can see how extensive the cloud cover is from the coast all the way into the mountains where the clouds are now moving. And we're expecting those clouds to become proactive as we go into the evening hours. Already we've seen a few spotty showers here and there. And as we look at Pinpoint Doppler Live, you can actually see the North County seeing the best chance of those light spotty showers, which could create some slowdowns on the 5. And as it moves east, also on the 15, extending from Escondido all the way up north near Bonzel. And Encinitas right now looking at those light spotty showers. We're going to continue tracking the chance all the way into tomorrow morning. And there could be another storm system also for next week. I'll show you how much rain we can expect and also when this system that's impacting our weather right now will be moving out of the area.
Look forward to that. Angelica, thank you. A new trolley line, 5 years in the making, is nearing completion on time and on budget. Our ABC 10 News reporter Cassie Carlisle tells us how big the impact could be.
The new line runs all the way from the border down here to UTC as well as the UC San Diego campus, and it's expected to have an additional 21,000 riders on board. 5 years of work and $2.17 billion later, the new trolley is nearly complete. The project is on time and on budget. The money will buy 36 new light rail vehicles and paid to remove utilities along the route. The idea for the track is to alleviate the crowded I-5 corridor as we go back to work.
One of the most important, features of that is reducing the carbon footprint, providing another alternative for folks, and really just connecting the community.
The new line connects people from San Ysidro to the VA or the Jacobs Medical Center as well as UC San Diego. They hope to start testing the line in July and then have passengers on this brand new line later in 2021. Reporting at UC San Diego, Cassie Carlisle, ABC 10 News.